Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course.
And today we're going to talk about something, Brad, but before we start, I want to mention that you're not wearing your Jerry Garcia tie.
I know, Bob.
It's be a shame.
I am. It's in my closet, but I know where it is anyways.
All right, well, go on without the tie.
Yeah, without the tie. So what we're going to talk about, Bob, is stretching for people who are 40 and over. Now, this is pretty
Very
much
important.
all groups, but particularly when you get over that 40, your body, the aging process starts to work kind of against us in ways, so you have to battle it by doing some simple things, and one of them can be stretching. It makes your body as flexible and whatnot.
Well, one thing I was just reading, by the way, Brad, as we get older, you start getting, there's less water basically going to your tissues, and that's why after a while they don't stretch out as easy. So you're right, we got to battle that by keeping the stretching going. So, all right, why don't you go ahead and start?
Well, I've got a list of things. As a matter of fact, at one of my clinics here, the community wanted me to do a stretch class for this age group. So I got it all down on paper, and why should we stretch? What are the benefits other than what we talked about? Number one, increase flexibility. And what else does that do for you? It increases your circulation, throughout your muscles. Sure. Your joint circulation is better. Balance. Your balance will be, it's not going to make a night and day difference, but it will help maintain or, maybe improve that balance depending on which muscle groups are tight, like the heel cords.
Big issue.
And just your risk for injuries, as far as if you fall down or you catch yourself, the more flexible you are, the less you're likely to be injured. And if you are going to put yourself on an exercise program, stretching before and or after the exercise can be a great way to start and end an exercise. So I guess the next point is, how do we stretch? And the two basic groups are static stretches, where you hold the stretch. So let's say if I'm going to stretch my forearm, I stretch like this, or dynamic stretches. Dynamic stretches are when you do a bouncing technique, or you do it with some activity. Typically for 40 and over, we're going to stick with the static stretches, I think. Dynamic stretches are for the athlete, usually the
see a lot of young
level.
kids doing it.
Yeah.
In basketball and in cross country now.
Exactly, and I think even with that there's some controversy. We're going to stick with the static stretches, and that's what I'm voting for, and I think you probably agree.
Yep.
And then when to stretch, we talked about it before. Before an activity, we're going to do some walking. Walking, you're going to use your legs. Those are the good muscles to stretch out. The calf muscles, hamstrings, quadriceps. A brief stretch before and afterwards, after the exercise. The muscles are warmed up, they're more flexible, and they'll stretch out even better afterwards. I don't know, what do you think? What's more important if you're going to do one or the other, before or after?
Well, I think if you're going to do it before, and this is very time consuming, but I personally, anecdotally, I believe that you have to do it a long time. See, they've done a lot of studies on stretches, and they really haven't held up in doing it before, and that's because they'll have people do like a 15 to 20 second stretch, or 15 to 30 second stretch. I stretch like my calves for minutes, and I can just tell you, I can feel when they finally start to loosen up. So I think, to be honest, Brad, if you're going to pick one or the other, you probably want to do the one after if you're going to, really looking for gains.
Sure.
If you're trying to prevent injury and you have the time, do it before.
Sure.
But you're going to have to stretch a long time, in my opinion.
Right. See, I have a different opinion on that because I don't have the patience probably. But I think a little bit of stretch is better than no stretch. So yeah, I don't know. When I work with people, because a 30-second stretch is a long stretch for me to hold.
Right, for you.
Right. So I usually, my stretches are 5 to 10 seconds. I'll stretch 5 to 10 seconds repeated times so that it adds up to longer time.
Sure.
So I don't know what
you got to get things moving. There's without a doubt, you want to get some blood flowing in your body,
right?
Before you get going. So the active movement and getting up and stretching and like you said, if you're doing a stretch, relax, stretch. Right. It's getting some blood flow to the area too.
Sure.
So it's a huge matter of debate here. So
right.
Really strong answer.
And so anyways, I say a little bit of stretch is better than no stretch at all.
I agree with that.
If you can stretch long, boy, it's probably good for it as long as you're not making it hurt for a minute or two, are you?
No, but
Gentle
I mean,
stretch.
I can just tell, you know, one of the common injuries I think with running, especially as you get older, is to pull a calf muscle or
Sure.
a tendon. I've never had that trouble, but I really do stretch a long time off the edge of a step.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
it's a good debate.
And then the final thing is people ask, well, what should I stretch? And again, it varies on the activity you're doing. If you just want a general stretch, I did actually put together what I think is probably a good general stretch routine from head to toe. And I'd like to go through those.
Sounds good, let's do it.
All right, so actually, this is the list I'm going to have handouts for the class I'm going to be teaching. The first one is Bob talked about the calf muscle, because most people, a lot of people like to walk. They're not joggers, they're not going to go buy a bike and run, but walking is very good exercise, easy to do. Calf muscle, you're working a lot, and the easiest way I find to stretch is simply the wall stretch. So, this simple stretch, I'm not going to go through them all in detail.
Yeah, he's
because
stretching this one back here.
right, not this one. Straight knee
And bent knee.
and bent knee. And make sure you do both legs, otherwise you'll walk in circles after a while. I'm just kidding. There are a lot of different ways to stretch these muscles. This is just common ones. And then the next group is the hamstrings. These are the most common muscles that get injured and get tight. I like to stretch the hamstrings just like this.
Yeah.
However, if your balance isn't good or you have a hard time getting your feet up, you can go on a flight of steps that works good. Or if you're sitting down, you have a chair out in front of you. You want to just move over, Bob?
Sure.
I'm gonna-
Yep.
Something so you get your leg like this. Keep your back straight, because we're not stretching our back, we're stretching the muscles here. That's an option. Or laying down. And this is really protects the back and stretching up.
The way I do it is I lay on my steps, or right by my steps in the morning, I put this leg up on a band, by the banister.
Sure, yep, that's a
And
real
this leg
common
goes
way,
up.
yep.
And it's just real comfortable, and it's not, there's no pressure on my
And
back.
I could see stretching like that for a minute.
Yeah,
or
because it's
two.
just relaxed.
Yep.
Yeah. It wakes me up in the morning.
Well, I need more than that to and then we're gonna go to the back. Boy, I'm gonna need some more room here, Bob. I'm gonna go through these kind of quick. We do have other videos on back stretches. Laying on your back, there's a rotation one, back and forth like this. Okay, then there's knees to the chest, done like this.
These are great stretches for the back.
And then the one laying on the back, this is one of my favorites, is a simple press up. It's not a push up. You keep your
Yeah,
waist
the pelvis is staying down.
Right. Okay. Did I have one more on there? Oh, and then a simple standing, stretching backwards. If you do a lot of sitting, a lot of bending forward, these ones where you extend backwards are nice stretches to counter that. And then we're going to move up to the shoulders, simple shoulder circles going both directions. Okay, you can grab your hands behind your back, stretching the front of the shoulders. And the door stretch, we just went through this one on a video last week.
I'll hold the door open for you.
Putting your hands here. Oh, hey. And stretch it out like that. Bring it somewhere in the hallway. Okay.
Looks like some neck stretches.
Yeah,
there.
and then next stretches. The chin tucks. So all famous chin tucks. This could be a great one for headaches as well. And then side bend. These are to be done gently. You don't have to stretch hard. You don't have to grab and pull hard. Gentle stretches to the neck. Full extension back this way. And of course, rotation. I see this a lot in people in 60s and 70s and older. Their rotation
Have lost.
really, yeah, you know, it's like driving is very difficult because they're not going to look behind them very
Now,
well.
these are good examples of ones that I think can be done quickly.
Yeah,
You know,
okay,
the
sure.
You know, the muscles that I feel that are at risk are the ones that I spend a long time at. Hamstring and heel cord. I
Yeah.
spend a long time on
Sure.
those. Back, I do just like you, reps.
Yeah.
These I do reps, so these can be done quickly.
Sure.
This, quickly, I
Yeah.
think you had that on there too, didn't you?
Yeah, oh, actually, I did, but I didn't have for the hands. Stretching,
Yeah.
stretching the forearms, very commonly used muscles. So it's a brief synopsis of the primary stretches for most people will be beneficial, I think.
Right.
Any other ones, Bob, that you think?
More obscure ones, but that really aren't necessary
Yeah,
enough for
right.
the average person.
So, and we got other videos if you want to get more specific to the back or the heel cords, you know, look
Yeah.
on those and we'll get in detail on those. So, I think this whole stretching group is what good for everything except for maybe a broken heart.
Yeah, we can't fix a broken heart.
Adios.